Hey, in this video I'll show you how to run Excel code from your Outlook the second you open your Outlook, so you don't really have to remember how to do anything. So I'm just going to open Outlook right now. And what Outlook does is it has an event that runs, and it'll just check the holidays. Here's like all the New York Stock Exchange US holidays for 2019 and 2020. And I'll walk you through the code, but basically I set it so whenever you open Outlook, it'll automatically check all the holidays, so you don't have to remember to do that. You could set this event up so a lot of different tasks can be done automatically when you sign in the morning. So I'm just going to close out of this Excel workbook, and over here in Developer, I'm in Outlook right now. Go to Visual Basic, and over here go to this Outlook session. You can copy this code here from my website, and you click up here and you go to Application so that you're working with the application startup. And over here you go to Startup, and so whenever Outlook application starts up, it'll run this code. And what this code does is it opens up Excel, and then it'll run the code within Excel. So before you do that, just go to Tools and go to References, and then go to and check off Microsoft Excel 15.0 Object Library, which will enable you to access Excel from Outlook. So it just makes a variable that is the Excel application, the workbook, and the worksheet, and then this creates it. This sets up the path of where the Excel workbook is. If you're unsure of what a path is, just go over here and go to here, and then right click on whatever file you're trying to open, and right here is where the path is. You could copy the path from here. Outlook in Excel. So you copy that, and it's right there, and then it's just whatever the workbook name is. Or you could just click up here and then copy that, and then put whatever the workbook name is. The workbook is holidays, and it's a .xlsm file, which is a macro-enabled workbook. So what this does is this opens up the workbook, and then this makes the workbook visible, because you could open up Excel workbooks and not make them visible. Say if you want it to run and you don't want to be annoyed with having to actually look at the workbook. And then this line right here, it runs the code. It runs module 1 code 1 within the workbook. So I'm going to open up this workbook now. Actually, I'll just step through this code so we can watch it get opened by Outlook. See, that's where it makes it visible. And then I press F8 here again, and it'll run the code. So it goes over to the Excel code here, and it checks the holidays right there. So here's the code for this workbook. Notice how it's in module 1 right here. So module 1's right here where my mouse is, and then module 1's over here in the Outlook. So module 1, and then .code 1. So here's the name of the sub-procedure. It's code 1. So what this does right here, workbook.application.run, it runs module 1 and code 1 from Excel from Outlook. And I'm just going to walk through the code in my Excel, which is also on my website. So eRow, this just sets the last row as 10, which is the last row in column 1. So it just counts however many rows there are in column 1 until there is a breaking space. Say if like there's like a blank at row 11, and there's data in row 12, then it'll only go to 10. So then what it does is it sets range F1 equal to today, so whatever the day today is. So November 17, 2019, November 17, 2019. And then what this does is it sets D2 equal to VLOOKUP, and if VLOOKS column 2, and then it looks it up versus column 6. So if this day is over here, if January 1st, 2019 is in range F1, then it'll return a match for the day because it's VLOOKing it up. Otherwise it returns a not any. not applicable if there are no matches. And then this right here is autofill. It'll just fill down D2 to D and E row, and E row is the 10th row, so it'll fill this formula down to here because that's the last row. And then we do the same thing in column E, and column E just looks up column 3 instead of column 2, so it'll look up a different year, so you could have multiple years and stuff. And then what this does here is it'll copy D and E and it'll paste it, and then it replaces NA with no, because NAs are, whenever you're like working with them in Excel, they kind of get in the way, so I always just replace them with a string or numbers so you don't get an error. This here, it has counter 2, so we're just setting this variable equal to 2, and then we're setting holiday, we're declaring it as a string. So we're going to do until counter is greater than 10, so we're going to do from 2 to 10, and then down here it'll just add 2 to itself, 2 plus 1, 3, 3 plus 1, 4, etc. And it'll just go through this loop. So it'll set the holiday equal to whatever row it's currently on. So right now it's on A and 2, so it's on New Year's Day. And so we're looping through column D. So we're looping through the VLOOKUP that looks up 2019 right now. So if this isn't equal to no, so if this equals 1/1/2019, because the VLOOKUP actually returned a value, then it'll actually message box whatever the holiday is, because we set the holiday variable equal to row A2, cell A2. So this variable, as we loop through this, the new holiday, it switches to, right now it's Martin Luther King Jr. Day because it's A3 now. So if this VLOOKUP returns any value that isn't no, then it'll actually say that today is that holiday. So right now it just loops through each of these. We'll go to counter, and then we're at 10, and then it does the count. Then over here we just set counter equal to 2 again, so we can start over. And then this does the same thing except with column E, which looks up column 3, which is 2020, and it does the same thing. If it's not equal to no, that's the not equal sign, then it'll send a message box and it'll say this holiday is a holiday today. So you could automatically get reminded of holidays, because a lot of mistakes can be avoided if you just automate daily tasks that take a little bit of time or you have to remember to do them, and you can just set it so that it automatically is done for you. It's a good way to plan. Thank you for watching my video.